Hey guys, so this is my Q&A video that I've actually been thinking of doing for a while, and I had my friend send me a few questions a while ago, but I have been putting it off because other things are more exciting to record than Q&A, and sometimes it's very nerve-wracking going in and kind of bearing your soul to the world, but I'm finally doing it, so what can I say except you're welcome? Okay. Question number 1 is, who or what inspired you to become a voice actor? I listened to a lot of audiobooks throughout my childhood. A lot of audiobooks. Whenever we traveled, my family traveled several times a year. And because our grandparents live 8 hours away from us, and I always preferred listening to an audiobook or an audio drama to watching a movie. I think it engages the mind more, and it was really cool to just picture everything in my mind. And also, our CDs were a lot less likely to get scratched than DVDs that we got from the library, so less skips and smudges. Anyway, I listened to a lot of audio dramas. I was very interested in the voices, and I was always interested to see who all played the characters, all the actors, and to find out that some actors play many characters, just to see how they can change their voice, make it sound different, create a whole different persona that doesn't sound anything like their other characters, or maybe it does and you can tell, but it's still very cool. So yeah, that was probably a big start. And then I had friends who have younger siblings, and one of my friend's younger sisters wanted me to try to do the voices of Disney characters, and I was really bad at it because I was like 15 or 16 at the time. But I kind of got practice, trying to sound like other people, even though I wasn't good at it at the time. And then, about a year or two later, I met another friend, and her kids were obsessed with Pokemon, still are, as I am, and still am. And for some reason, they wanted me to try to sound like Jessie from Pokemon. And it took me a while, but I eventually got it down. And now I can go up to them and say, "Team Rocket blasts off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare for a fight." And they'll just laugh and scream and carry on and like, "Oh, that's so funny." And then they also wanted me to do Ash, and so that took me longer until I could finally get it down and be like, "Hey guys, I'm Ash of Pallet Town, and I'm gonna become the world's greatest Pokemon master. Oh yeah, go Pikachu!" And of course that made them laugh so hard. Anyway, now this Pokemon impressions got me thinking. Somehow I got into, for a while, I watched a lot of interviews with the voice cast of Pokemon. And I watched a lot of stuff about Veronica Taylor. And I think that was probably like the one thing, like the last little inspiration that I needed. My friends know that I am a huge fan of Veronica Taylor and the rest of the 4Kids dubbing cast for Pokemon and the other shows that they did. And those guys have been a huge inspiration to me as in the past couple years, and kind of inspired me to become a dramatic productions minor at my school. So I was kind of like, hey, I could do that. I could, except instead of, it would be fun to dub anime, but I really want to do audiobooks, audio dramas. It's what I try to do on my channel somewhat. It's what I want to do, guys. Alright, I've gone. Let me check and see how long I've talked for almost 5 minutes about that question. Wow. Now you know. The more you know. I'm gonna get a drink of water here. What is my favorite anime or manga besides Pokemon? Oh, come on, dude. That was from my friend Bethany. And it's, I think, let's see. I don't know. I didn't get into anime until I was in high school. I don't know. When I was little, my parents thought that anime was annoying. So I didn't really watch anime until I was in high school, when I could watch it upstairs and they didn't have to hear all but my parents called squeaky voices. So that's when I started watching it. And also because that's when some of my friends got into anime. So some of us are all into anime together. I like Rodon High School Host Club a lot. I watched the entire series, every single episode. And as some of you know, I like to do a Haruhi impression. You know, you're so weird, Tamaki senpai. I don't know, I feel like Haruhi is me sometimes, because she just goes around and she's just like, no. Like, she's like, no nonsense. She's the very innocent friend. She's just the one that's like, everyone tries to protect, and I feel like that's how my friends are with me sometimes. As far as manga go, there's one I read a while ago. I don't remember who wrote it, but it's called Kitchen Princess. It's about a girl named Najika who goes to this big school to meet the boy that shared his snack with her when they were both little. She calls him her flan prince. And it's just really cute. There's a lot of cooking and recipes, and I love cooking, so I like that one. There's also a manga called Yotsuba. It's about this little tiny girl with green hair. It's super funny. I also like Yu-Gi-Oh! And because I went to adopt Mokuba. I have so many crushes from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go into it because I'll be here all day. Let's just move on to question 3. It's about like dream songs or dream roles. I'm still trying to figure out my casting type, because there is the roles that I like and would think it'd be cool to play, but I know that I will never play because I don't think I'm intense enough. I don't have as strong of a persona. You know, that'd be roles like Elphaba, Elsa, that kind of archetype. There's also ones that I probably could see myself playing. I think I would make a good Anna in Frozen, because I'm always, you know, all the time is like bleh, tripping over everything and getting excited, and I love a lot of Frozen stuff, and I've covered several Frozen songs on my channel. You know that. I think I'd make a good Anna from Frozen. So I think. I also would love to be Anastasia. I love Anastasia the musical. I covered one song a long time ago. I should redo it, because I'm a lot better of a singer now than I did a couple years ago when I did that one. And I have better recording equipment. I have my precious Blue Yeti microphone that I got for Christmas. That now is my baby. It is my pride and joy, my most treasured possession. I also would love to be Belle in Beauty and the Beast. She is, you know, I'd like to think that if Belle lived in the modern days, she would be like an anime and manga geek, because she loves the far off places and the dashing sword fights and the magic and the princes and all this fantastical stuff. I don't know. I also think she'd be into Lord of the Rings. She would love Lord of the Rings. I always joked that the book that she was reading that she just described was Lord of the Rings, because it fits that description. Like I said, I could also see her into stuff like that. I actually auditioned to be Belle in my school's production of Beauty and the Beast. I didn't get it, but the girl that did get it completely deserved the role. She's really cool. So, I feel like she fit Belle perfectly, because I had class with her, so I know her personally. She was really cool. Other dream roles. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I could pull off. I'm kind of wondering if I could pull off Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. I wonder if I could do that, you know. I don't know. I know that's a really difficult role. Maybe I'm not blonde at all, but I like her songs. I feel like I could sing them pretty well. I like to sing, you know, those ones. Cinderella from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. I'm starting to think that maybe my type is like the bit of an ingenue type. I don't know, because when I'm talking, just regular talking, I don't sound like a princess type character. But I seem to do like the, princessy type songs the best, and that's what I do a lot of on my channel. I don't know. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out my type. I have always loved acting in theater. I did not have opportunities when I was younger to do theater, just because of I was homeschooled, and so I was not able to do anything, real productions like that outside of church Christmas programs. So maybe I should get back to you guys on that. Okay, question 4. Where in life did I find I loved reading, and what books brought adventure to my life? I have always loved books, dudes, okay? My parents read to me a lot. Then I learned to read very quickly. I was already reading in kindergarten. I mean, I wasn't reading War and Peace, but I was reading before, by kindergarten. My mom says I've always been good at reading. Now, when it comes to the length of books, I would prefer to read a lot of short novellas than one big novel. I have not had the attention span to read giant books. My brother and my friends, they read like Ranger's Apprentice and Redwall and Lord of the Rings, all those giant, super stinking thick books, and I am just content to let them either, have them read parts to me and just give me synopses, because I just cannot get through. I don't know what it is about me. I cannot get through long books. When it comes to books brought adventure into my life, I've read a lot of just fantasy and historical fiction. I liked The Royal Diaries by various authors. It's basically, historical fiction about princesses and queens, etc., of the past, many countries around the world, but written in like a diary form. So, and of course I read just about all of the American Girl series. I have a lot of American Girl books as a child. For fantasy, I read a lot of, let's see, there is the, what's it called? Tale of Emily Winsnap. I read a lot of Gail Carson Levine, like Ella Enchanted, her Fairy Dust series, Fairy Dust and the Quest for the Egg. That was that book defined my 10-year-old, when I was 10 years old, or that when I was 10. Yeah, there was just a lot of fairy stuff. And of course, I read Peter Pan, of course, and I would just think about that book because one of my friends from school is doing a series of himself reading that book. I listened to the first chapter a few days ago. He did a good job, by the way. Like I said, Gail Carson Levine writing about Neverland and Tinkerbell and all her friends. That's the Quest for the Egg. Ronnie was my favorite character. I always felt sorry for her. Everything about her just made me cry because she's, I don't know, she's kind of she was very self-sacrificing. So, just made me cry. Also the Disney Tinkerbell series, Disney books, about Tinkerbell, but owned by the Disney company. I read a lot of stuff about fairies. Ooh, Spiderwick. I read Spiderwick. Can you tell I like fairy tales and fantasy and stuff like that? Hence why I wrote a lot of fairy tale stuff in high school, but did not finish them because I am not disciplined. I am that kind of a person. It took me a lot of discipline to write as much as I did of Pokemon Beyond, and I'm still determined to finish those books. And then after I'm done with Pokemon Beyond, I'm going to finish the Fairy Tail series and try to rework some things that I feel like could have been better. So, yeah, those are some of my favorite childhood books that I can think of right now. So, I'm trying to remember who said question number 5, because I just copied and pasted these questions from email threads that I sent out to my friends a while back. Someone asked me what my favorite fruit is. I think that might have been Amber. I guess just bananas. Because they're cheap, and they're supposed to be good for you. They have potassium in them. I got muscle cramps a lot. I used to get muscle cramps all the time, especially in my legs as a kid, wake me up in the middle of the night. So that's when my banana addiction started. I eat so many bananas. Amber also asked, "Do you know the Muffin Man?" Like, I'm just like, bruh, dude. You know that I asked my drama teacher that question on the last day of class before our school had to shut down because of COVID-19. The bane of my existence. Back in March, the last day of class, my teacher asked if we had any questions. So I raised my hand like, ooh, 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 ooh. And he said, yes. And I said, do you know the Muffin Man? He just looked at me and he just like, yes, I do. I also know where he lives, on Drury Lane. I'm like, there you go, thank you. All right, number 7. And I do not remember who said this, but if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? I would pay off my school bill. Yes, I would go to school. I'm a very boring person. I am very practical, okay? I love fantasy and fantastical things and magic, but in real life, in my actual life, I'm a very practical person, okay? If I had $1 million, I would just go ahead, give it out to my school, pay it, not all the whole $1 million, but I'd pay off my school bill, and then I would send my brother and my 2 sisters to school, even though the 2 little ones are still teensy tiny, as in they're infant and 3 years old, but I would make sure they could go to school. And then I would probably buy a house. So, and then I would, if I had any left, I would donate it to charity. I'm sorry, I'm a very practical person. So, I like to read about the world. I like the idea of traveling around the world, but when it actually comes to traveling, I really do not like traveling. So, I mean, if I liked traveling better, I would definitely travel the world. I've always wanted to see Egypt, pyramids. Ask me about my Egyptian obsession sometime. It all started in the 6th grade. I shall tell it maybe a different time. Not today. I also want to see the Taj Mahal. And probably I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Hokkaido because I've seen pictures on the internet of all these flowers, all these just fields of flowers in Hokkaido, and I'm like, I am going there. I also just want to see, just like traditional Japanese places, cherry blossoms, pagodas, that whole aesthetic. So I would rather go see, like nature and whatever than the big city of Tokyo, even though it's pretty cool. I would also go see the Onion Castle in Russia, whatever it's called, that place, you know what I'm talking about. Just travel to famous places around the world, I guess, if I liked traveling. All right, question 8. If you could enter the world and story of any Disney movie, what would it be? Who would you be? How would the story change because you were there? I have an answer to that question, actually. I didn't have to think about that one beforehand. So, a few years ago, I started yet another story. It was inspired by something that one of my friends was writing, where we went and visited Disney movies, except instead of just being an OC in the world of a Disney movie, I became actually turned into one of the characters. And so in my story, I became Anna in Frozen. Big surprise. And I decided to change the story to try to keep the event of the story as close as possible to the movie, except I was not going to use Hans, because he was a Minnie Pooh, and in my mind, and I hated him, and I wanted to keep him out of my life as much as possible. And so I had to come up with a way to get Elsa to run away without getting engaged. And then I had to try to, make everything happen as it should happen, except take Hans out of the picture. So, yeah. I found where I'd handwritten that story back in, I don't know, so many years ago. I rewrote it. I'm like, what was I thinking? I'm like, what is this? What am I even looking at? I don't even know what this is. Like, weirdness, but I got a good laugh out of it. Because, I don't know. I really don't know what I was thinking, but hey. Let me check and see how long this has been going. Ooh, this has been going 20 minutes. I better go, guys. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A and getting to know me and knowing about my life and hearing me, not trying to do a character voice or my narrator voice. So, like I said, when I'm being relaxed and conversational, I usually drop down a few pitches, in my voice, and I don't have a script, so I'm really rambling, which is weird. I'm used to reading a story, reading a script. At least you can hear what I would sound like if you were to meet me in person, just if you were to come see me at work or at school, I'd probably talk to you like this. So instead of, being like, this, this is the voice that I use when I read my stories. I am a magical princess. Everything is perfect, and I live in a palace, and I have a prince, and we live happily ever after. Or something like that. So, yes, okay. I'm really going. Bye.